खिलाफत के अमी हम हैं, अमानत हम संभालेंगे, जो नेमत छी।
Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Atikur Rahman, and as I'm sure you're all aware, tomorrow is a very special day. It's Khilafat Day. So I've been asked to say a few words, and the question which has been posed to me is, what is my relationship with Khilafat? And what does it mean to Khudam, especially in today's day and age? To kind of add some context to my relationship, I'm going to take it back a couple of years. So my mum passed away 3 years ago, unfortunately, from cancer. And on the last day before she passed away, she kind of called our entire family together, including my brothers, my dad, all my uncles and aunties, and we were all kind of crowded around. And I thought she was going to kind of say, and this is the last thing she said to us all. And I assumed she was going to say, look, look after each other, be good to each other, look after your wives, X, Y, and Z. However, the last thing she actually said was, stay close to Khilafat. Never ever leave the side of Khilafat, and always strive to get as close as you possibly can to the Khalifa Waqt. So that kind of, not didn't cement it, because my relationship with Khilafat was pretty strong before, but it kind of drilled home how important our relationship with Khilafat is. But then again, I think it could have been stronger. And fast forwarding to recent times, Hazur's recent tour, European tour, I think really established my relationship with Khilafat and really affirmed the connection, the love that I have for Khilafat and Hazur Ayatollah bin Asal Aziz. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, Hazur's European tour consisted of 4 different countries, Holland, France, Germany and Belgium. They estimated that Hazur must have travelled over 3,000 miles across the tour. And I actually got a lot of my information from watching the Review of Religions content, so a cheeky little plug there for Review of Religions. And it was an amazing series that they had put together, where they covered, I think, close to 95% or possibly even 100% of the entire tour. And what stood out for me on that tour was that Hazur was so busy. If you watch the videos, it gives you kind of probably only 5 to 10% an inkling into what Hazur's daily life was like during that tour. Hazur was opening mosques, had hundreds of mulaqats with individuals, had sit-downs with different media stations within all of those different countries, had delivered over 16 different speeches throughout the time, and also had a really kind of inspirational and momentous speech at UNESCO, which I'm sure everyone heard as well. And while all this was going on, Hazur was making sure that he was also leading every single namaz during the tour, as well as preparing, researching and writing all of the Friday sermons, and then delivering the Friday sermons. I think what stood out for me was every single day that Hazur had mulaqats, or had an activity, or had a speech, or had some sort of event, Hazur really made sure that he still not only read but led every single namaz by Jamaat. Hazur was at the forefront of making sure that he was educating every single person within the Jamaat throughout those different countries, as well as internationally as well. And not once did you see Hazur look tired, or did you see him waver, or did you see him kind of maybe take a day off. You know, we all have our holidays, we all have our days off from work, and we will say, oh, we need a break. But for a solid tour, Hazur every single day was consistently working and delivering close to 10, 12, 13 hours a day. And Hazur was doing this all for us. The love, the compassion that Hazur showed to the Jamaat members was unbelievable. Some of the videos that I saw you could see people who had gone in for a mulaqat and had come out so emotional. It's the first time they had met Hazur. It was probably only a 2 to 3, 4, 5 minute mulaqat, but they felt like it was life changing for them. And those stories really inspired me as well, and they hit home for me that these individuals, they only get to see Hazur once or twice, possibly in a year. Some of the individuals actually saved up for 10 years to come to have a mulaqat of Hazur. I think while Hazur was in Germany, and it made me start to realize Hazur does everything just for us. And we are so privileged. I am so privileged. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of security at Merkaz. Had the opportunity to see Hazur possibly almost 5 times a day while Hazur's coming out to lead the namaz. And I think at the time, possibly maybe slightly even took it for granted how fortunate I was. And now being in the situation that we are in terms of lockdown and not having the opportunity to do those securities, I think I really, really realise the impact that Hazur had on me personally and my relationship with Khilafat at that specific time. And I miss it. I massively miss doing the security duties now. It's something which at the time you do, and you're just kind of, you're in the mode, you're in the zone, you're getting through it, you're getting it done. But I think it's always important to take a step back and look at what you're doing, understand what you're doing, and understand why you're doing it. And at the time maybe I didn't, but now being in the situation that we are and I've had time to reflect, absolutely I've realised what it was all about. So again, just to kind of go back to Hazur's tour, again, if you watch some of the videos, the way Hazur was doing Musafa with a number of individuals. So I think in one of the countries, I believe again it was Germany, there was a congregation of asylum seekers from Pakistan. And Hazur was meeting each and every single individual with love, with care, with attention, really kind of showing them true affection. And I think the key thing to note is during this time, during the Musafa, Hazur also had a very bad hand at the time. But Hazur wouldn't show it on his face if someone had squeezed his hand too hard. Hazur didn't stop the Musafa because of the injury to Hazur's hand. And there were the lines were huge, absolutely huge. And again, that kind of really showed me and hit home to me the love that Hazur has for us. You know, every single day Hazur prays for us, the compassion that Hazur has for us, everything Hazur does, he does it for us and our well-being. And that again reaffirmed and really grew my connection with Khilafat, where I started to see that actually, you know, Hazur shows us so much love. It has to be our duty to give that level of consideration, love and affection back to Hazur, if not more. And it's something which I've been striving to do ever since I've been viewing the content of Hazur's tour. Hazur also, again, to kind of give a bit more context, doesn't just have compassion and love for just us Ahmadis, it's also for all of humanity. There was an incident that was narrated during the tour where the Qafla was travelling on the motorway. I can't remember exactly where they were travelling to. However, they came to a stop. There was an accident on one of the motorways. There was a motorbike that had an accident, and they had called for a helicopter, and the Qafla had also had to stop for the accident. And then when the motorway cleared, then the Qafla went on. That evening, I think Hazur had a mulaqat with somebody, and Hazur asked that individual for an update on the person who was injured on the motorway. So again, we drive past the motorway countless times. I've gone to Islamabad a number of times, and we drive past accidents. 90% of the time, we slow down to have a look what's going on, causing traffic jam on our own road. But I don't think we truly ever think about that individual that's in the accident. I don't think we ever, once we've gone past it, it's kind of gone out of our mind, and now we're thinking about what's next in our day, what our next kind of focus is. But Hazur asked how that individual was, which again really reaffirms the love that Hazur has, not just for Ahmadis, but for the whole of humanity. Hazur really wanted to know if that person was okay, and I am pretty sure Hazur was praying for that individual too. Again, an amazing example for us all. That is something. This is how we should strive to live our lives. You know, Hazur loves us and shows us affection, and every single time we see a tour or we see Hazur go into a function or event, we can see and kind of feel that love and affection. But it's also an example for us to live in that way. Follow the example. You know, love humanity. Give back as much as we can. Take note of Hazur's Friday sermons. I remember another incident during the tour, and bear in mind the tour Hazur had to give 16 different speeches as well. So preparation for those must have been pretty intense. But there was an individual who said that he went into to do a mulaqat of Hazur, and it was before the Friday sermon, and he noticed there was a number of books on Hazur's desk, a huge number of books, all open, all with labels in. Hazur was writing the Friday sermon, and he realised the amount of effort and consideration that Hazur puts into writing these Friday sermons. Can you imagine us putting together a long speech after doing so much research to deliver it to people, and we look around and people are not really paying attention, some people are on their phones, some people are kind of nodding off as well? How would that make us feel, you know, after all the effort that we've put in? And that really made me kind of stand up and realise that, you know what, these Friday sermons are so important. The effort that Hazur puts in to educate us, to teach us, to show us what the right path is and how we should be living our lives, is all for us. It's not for Hazur. It's not for himself. It doesn't take hours, 8 to 9 to 10 hours to write one Friday sermon just so he can get it over and done with. It's all for the benefit of the Jamaat. That tour of Europe for me was a real eye-opener. Hazur managed to deliver 16 speeches, visit 4 different countries, open a number of different mosques, meet hundreds of people, do a number of musafas, also do a number of Ameens as well. And it made me realise that Hazur's doing all this for us. I don't think I have the capacity now moving forwards to ever say I'm that busy. Can I really say, do you know what? Haven't got time for this. Can I really miss my namaz here now? Can I really put my worldly work in front of my Jamaati work? Because if Hazur can do all of those things and more, why can't I just do the basics? And ever since seeing that tour, I have tried to strive. I've tried to make sure that I make changes in my own life. And I've seen improvements. And by the grace of God, I feel like internally and externally I've changed. I've developed as a human being. And this is what the connection to Khilafat does. It makes you a better individual. It gives you that shield that you need. It gives you that comfort. It gives you guidance. So yeah, my connection to Khilafat, my relationship with Khilafat, is probably stronger than it ever has been. And having seen the tour that Hazur went on, I'm inspired to hopefully do better, improve, develop, and grow my connection, my love, my relationship with Khilafat. And inshallah, I hope all of you guys do too. All of you will be affected in an individual way. You've got your own individual personal stories on how Khilafat has affected you, how it relates to you, what your relationship with Khilafat is. But just think of Huzur, think of the Khalifa and what they do for us, and the impact of what they do has on our lives. And inshallah, we can all strive to develop our connection with Khilafat and God Almighty. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.